Welcome to another edition of Black Male Advice TV. I'm your host, Ringo. Make sure you click the like button, subscribe, and support the content. Welcome everybody to Black Male Advice TV. I am your host, Ringo. Welcome to another show. Today what we're going to be talking about is the subject of should I date thoughts. Should I date thoughts? That's what we're going to talk about. You know, in our society, there seems to be a lot of talk about dating. Everybody has their information, their logic, their understanding of what they feel they should do when it comes to dating. And what I find in this culture is that a lot of times men would say you need to avoid single mothers. And I get it. But what I notice also is that who are these men actually dating? Because when we look at most relationships and when we look at the majority of men, they're not getting married. They're not in long-term relationships. So the question of who are these men dating normally comes to mind. Because if most of these brothers are claiming that you should avoid dating a single mom, who are they dating? So the topic, should I date thoughts? Now, to answer the question, I would say no. Why would you want to date a woman who is sexually promiscuous with every man on the block? Why would you want to do that? And I would find that to be very hypocritical as a man to be dating a woman in whom you know is sexually promiscuous with everybody. That wouldn't be a good investment. That wouldn't make good logical sense because you're putting yourself at risk for all sorts of venereal diseases. You're putting yourself at risk for a possible situation where a woman might get pregnant by a particular guy and she might claim that you're the father or some sort of nonsense you might get involved in. I don't think that would be productive for a good working man to commit his life to dating women that are sexually promiscuous. But the truth of the matter is most men today are actually dating thoughts. Because if the majority of brothers are claiming they're avoiding single mothers, when we all know that that's a lie, who exactly are they dating? And when you really think about this topic of should I date thoughts, the answer to that is that most men today actually are dating thoughts. And they prefer women that are sexually promiscuous. They want you to believe that for whatever reason, they're out there looking for this good woman. But the truth is, the average man is really just looking for a woman that's easy. So on all ends, there is just a bunch of hypocrisy because we want to believe that the woman that we're dealing with is a good woman. But if the truth be told, if this is a good woman that you are dealing with as a man, why she's not your wife? My question to all the brothers is, if you are dating a woman right now and you and her are sexually intimate, why that woman is not your wife? If she's not your wife, if you haven't made her your wife, and she's single and have no children, but you are intimate with her, and she's not your wife in a long-term relationship, then you are technically dating a thought who is just there to be sexually used, or she's using you. The whole point that I'm trying to get to is I find that a lot of men are showing a lot of hypocrisy because we'll say you need to avoid single mothers. And I understand that some of you brothers may have had bad experiences, nor am I promoting that single mothers is the goal of all men or should be the goal of all men. But my point is that if we're going to avoid women because they have children, why is it that men are not avoiding women that are sexually promiscuous with everybody? Why is it okay as men to date women in whom you know are sexually promiscuous with everybody? Why would you date a woman in whom you are intimate with, right? And you feel it's okay to deal with her just because she have no children, but you're intimate with her. And at the same time, you're not planning on making this young lady your wife. So in all essence, you're creating whoredom because you would lay with a woman because she has no children, right? Because it's easy access for you. And then you would discard her, date another woman who have no children, get with her, be intimate, not take her seriously enough to make her a wife, and then you get with another woman and you do the same thing. So exactly what is the goal of brothers? To all the men that are listening, what exactly are you contributing to society by actually laying up with every woman you get with, but you're not essentially making any of these women your wives? So what really are men doing today? Because a woman that has children, the children didn't just come to be. They came forth because the young lady had sexual relations with a man. And for whatever reason, the relationship may have went south. Maybe her partner passed away, or there was a horrible breakup, divorce, separation, whatever the case is. A lot of times these things are not planned. I don't believe that the majority of women plan on being single mothers. I believe that a lot of times us men, we get involved with women and for whatever reason they get pregnant and then we jump ship, or the woman make it difficult for us to be there and vice versa. It could be many different scenarios that would cause a separation. But I don't think that a man gets into a relationship to have children with a woman to just break up. Nor do I believe women get into a relationship with a man only to just break up. I don't believe things happen like that. So when I hear a lot of talk on social media that men should avoid single mothers as a whole and don't deal with them at all, it sounds nice on the surface because there are situations in which men should avoid. There are single mothers that men should just literally avoid because they bring a lot of problems to men. At the same time, all women that have children are not bad women. And just because they have children doesn't mean that you should just avoid them. Because if you're going to avoid them, why you're not avoiding the sexually promiscuous woman that you deal with? Why is it that as a man, you have no problem laying up with a woman in whom you know is not just sleeping with you? Why is it okay as men? Why do we feel justified in dealing and associating ourselves with women that we know are thoughts? Most of you brothers, you would go to clubs to meet women. You would go to bars to meet women. So in your mind, you're assuming that because you met her at the bar, that she's single, not having sex with nobody, and you're just like the first guy she ever met. That's impossible, brothers. Yes, impossible. Also, a lady, you can meet a woman and she can tell you she have no children. And for whatever reason, she has children and you're sexually intimate with her. Then what? What do we do after you find out she have children? Do you just say, okay, being that you have children, I'm going to leave? Is that what you do? I think that as men, we have to stop the hypocrisy. I believe that we need to really come to the understanding of knowing that when it comes to dating women, whether a woman have children or have no children, we can't be hypocrites when it comes to who we date. It has to be a situation where as a man, you're truly trying to build with a woman. I think that a lot of us brothers are deeply hypocritical when it comes to dating, when it comes to settling down with a lady. And to be quite frank, I don't believe that a lot of men that actually view my content actually have a long-term relationship of success. Because a lot of times when I read the comments and I see how men respond to things, I'm asking myself, well, if you're not dating a single mother, who exactly are you dating? And if you're dating them, why they're not your wife? What are you doing? Are you just using women for sex and leaving? Because if you are, then women should avoid dating you. Because if your goal as a man is just to be sexually intimate with a woman and then leave her, who are you to judge the single mother for having children when you are actually out there purposely having sex with women only to leave them? What exactly are you contributing to the culture? What exactly are you doing to help the community? Because if all of our women are sexually active and they're dealing with you type of brothers that just want to be intimate with them because there's no strings attached, there's no children, there's nothing around that can actually prevent you from being intimate with them. If that's the way you do business as a man, then who are you to judge another man or judge men in general if they are in a relationship with a woman that has children? How many of you brothers have children? These are questions you need to ask yourself. Because if you have children as a black man, as any man, then what would really be the problem of avoiding women that have children? Because we all know that the majority of men today actually date single mothers. Because in today's culture, it's pretty unlikely to run into a woman that just have no children. Most women have children today, and most men actually date women that have children. But the problem that I find is that I think that what a lot of men are really saying is that it's okay if you have sex with a single mother, but it's not okay to make her your woman. I think that's what a lot of brothers are not saying. And I feel that as a man, if you want to avoid single mothers as a whole, or if that is what you preach, then you shouldn't have sexual relationship with them at all. And I find that a lot of men are really not doing that. So should you date a thought? That is something you're going to have to answer, because most of you brothers are already dating thoughts and you have no problem with it. You have no problem dating women that you know is not sleeping just with you. Some of you brothers date women that date women. Some of you brothers date women that you know have a man. So we're going to open up a whole bunch of different doors. How many of you brothers are currently right now dating and messing around with or being sexually intimate with a woman in whom you know have a man, but you still allow yourself to be with her? What about you brothers? See, why you're not avoiding her? See, just because she has no children doesn't mean it's okay to date her. You know she has a man, so why are you dating her? So we have to come out of the hypocrisy as men. We have to really look within and ask ourselves, why do we do what we do? Because when it comes to dating, there are all different types of women. There are all different types of situations. Just because a woman have children doesn't make her a bad woman by default, even though there are a lot of single mothers that you should avoid. But just because there are single mothers that you should avoid doesn't mean that you should just avoid a woman just because she has babies. Because there are women that have no children that you should avoid. There are a lot of women out there that have no kids whatsoever, but you should avoid them because they're no good. If you're just going to get with a woman just because she have no children and crown her as the type of woman you need to be with, then you got a problem. Because in order to understand a woman, you have to understand her character. And children doesn't define a woman's character. You can have a good woman who is single and have no husband, but she's a great woman, and it just so happens she has children. Having the children doesn't automatically put her in a pot that says you need to avoid her, she's a problem. There are a lot of women that have no children, and yet they are sexually promiscuous. They're all over the streets. They're wilding out. They have a horrible attitude, terrible personality, and all sorts of issues and baggage within that you brothers may not know about. So, should you date thoughts? Should you deal with them? I don't think you should. I think that you should deal with a wholesome woman who is not sexually promiscuous. But the question is, how many of you brothers are really doing that in 2021? That's the question you're going to have to ask yourself, because we all know that you're not doing that. So that's all I'm going to say today on that topic. This is Black Male Advice TV, the only channel on YouTube bringing you the truth 100% raw, the way you need to hear it. I'm out, y'all. Peace.
If you like our content, consider supporting via Cash App at $Ringo TV Raw. Become a patron on patreon.com for exclusive video content not shown on YouTube. You could also support through PayPal at paypal.me/Ringo TV Raw. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and click the bell to be notified of new content. Follow me on Instagram at Ringo TV Raw.
This is Black Male Advice TV, the only channel on YouTube bringing you the truth 100% raw and uncut. I'm out. Peace.